At least once every 20 years, the fynbos must burn at extremely high temperatures to allow the ecosystem to be rejuvenated and to grow afresh. Throughout the summer, the burnt foliage of the fynbos lies desolate, but when the autumn rains return, the seeds explode and germinate, and its life cycle begins all over again.
A year into the pandemic, which wreaked havoc on the globe, South Africans, like their global counterparts, were plunged into grief and many despair. Loved ones were lost, people fell ill, and millions faced extreme economic hardship.
Like a wildfire that sweeps across the mountains and the mountainous ranges of our country, where the fynbos grows, a deadly pandemic has swept across the world, leaving devastation in its path. And yet, like the hardy fynbos of our native land, we too have proven to be resilient in many, many ways.
The first phase of the vaccination program was rolled out in February last year. Experts say over the past year, 2 waves, driven first by Delta and more recently Omicron, have demonstrated the unpredictability of the disease.
We need to continue to be on our guard and to be surveillant. However, during this year, we have also been able to roll out the COVID-19 vaccine. So South Africa will remember this time. Last year, we were scrambling to get healthcare workers vaccinated. We're very grateful for the SONA program, which enabled 500,000 healthcare workers to be vaccinated ahead of the third wave. But importantly, the national program got underway. And although we haven't quite reached the targets we'd hoped for, I think still an exemplary effort.
With many people losing loved ones to COVID-19, coming to terms with the grief and loss has been a hard journey. Cape Town residents are hopeful that the worst of the crippling pandemic is over.
Everyone had to come together, everyone had to really be strong together and overcome it. It wasn't an easy thing, everyone had to stay home, a lot of people lost their jobs, so I really do think we are a resilient nation.
I think yes, we're bouncing back, and COVID has taught us a lot in terms of how you need to spend your money and keep your money, and then in terms of keeping healthy too, it taught us everything, to keep. Every time I always wash my hands, I always look after myself. So yeah, it taught us a lot of good things too.
I very much think South Africans are resilient people. You see now people are still going on their day-to-days. I very much still think that they are struggling financially, etc., especially the restaurants and that sort of industry where they've been affected really badly.
I can eventually see it coming to an end, and hopefully with the State of the Nation, the President can say to us, we don't have to wear masks anymore, and already the curfew was ended, so hopefully we're getting back on the track to normality.
Government implemented a range of measures to support citizens and businesses, including TERS funding, tax relief for businesses in distress, and a social relief grant for the poor and vulnerable.
I think also government must increase this money of grant from 350 to 500 or upwards. A lot of people in South Africa, they are not working, and they are benefiting from that 350. So we say to government, please, that 350 must increase. And COVID-19, we make a lot of disaster in this country.
In 2021, and we're still waiting for the last figures, but there seems to have been a quite firm rebound, again, throughout the world in terms of economic growth. In South Africa, possibly a growth rate of around about 4.5%, which sounds very impressive. But bear in mind that is on the back, it's a bounce back really, on the back of the significantly lower level of economic activity in 2020.
There are currently just over 46,000 active COVID-19 cases in the country. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.